Hey everybody, I'm Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a very highly requested video for you. I'm going to show you how I make both my monthly stickers and my daily headers for my Hobonichi planner. We have a lot to do, so let's jump right in. I am going to show you how I make stickers from digital downloads. Now you can do this from free digital downloads that you can get. You can do them with digital downloads that you purchase. I'm going to show you how I do them with my Boho Berry digital downloads. Now, if you are a member of the Boho Berry Digital Planners Facebook group, then you have access to the freebies that she puts on there, and she does some great things for her followers. So whenever you first get to the Boho Berry Digital Planners group, the top post is pinned, and it is from her explaining some of the rules and things about the planner group. And one of the things is this little page, this photo that you can click on to get you the link for all of the freebies that she does. Now, she posts freebies fairly often, and there's also something called a Freebie Friday, where some of the followers actually post some of the things that they've been working on that they want to share with the group for free. So this is a great place to get the resources for your stickers. So go ahead and click on this Google Drive folder. And here there are several different folders that you can look through. One of the stickers that we're going to make is from this 2018 calendar. So she has several things here that you could choose from. Just kind of go through here. There are some washi tapes. She made little planner girls. She did a little doodle of a camper. Some notebooks of all different colors. There are a couple of free fonts here that you have access to. So there's really just a lot that you can choose from. So on your own time, you can go through the rest of that if you'd like. The first thing we're going to look at are these calendars here. Now I'm going to show you two different kinds of stickers to make. What we're going to do is crop out these months here, and we are going to just make one big rectangle sticker for the sidebar, and I'm going to make it fit my Hobonichi planner because that's what I am using currently. So what we're going to do is download this image. Once it's all ready, we're going to open it up and we're going to edit and create because we want to crop it. I don't need the whole year at a glance. I just want 1 month. So I'm going to hit edit. And for some reason, it is all black and it's hard to see what we're actually editing. So for the time being, just for editing purposes, I'm going to put on this filter so that I can kind of see the text. The reason it shows up black is because if we go back here, you can see the checkered background. That means that it's transparent. It's a PNG image, and that's what we want, but it does make cropping a little difficult. So with this filter on, I can now see the text, and we are going to crop. I'm going to go ahead and do December, so we'll start there, and then I'm going to crop out these lines. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So then I will hit done. And then I want to go back and hit the original under the choose a filter option. I don't want that slate filter anymore. Now, even though you can't see it, it is still there. Go ahead and hit save a copy. And just save it. Let's save it as December monthly. All right, and we are saving a copy now. So let's go ahead and get out of there and go to our Cricut design space. Now this is just a new canvas. Whenever you open up your design space, there are options and you can just hit new. We want to upload the image that we downloaded. This is already here because I tested it out and I wanted to make sure that I remembered exactly how I did this, but yours won't be there. So what you're going to want to do is go to Upload Image and Browse. Now I just saved this to the desktop. I saved it December monthly, and it is going to be black. Remember, it's that transparent image. So I'm going to hit Open, and there we go. You have three options here. You can select the image type as a simple image, moderately complex, or complex. I always choose complex so that it has the highest quality. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that and then continue. Now here, because it is a PNG, you just want to make sure that all of these circles in here, you can see the checkered boxes. And I can, so there's nothing to click on. But if this was showing up white instead of that checkered background, I would simply click it and it would disappear. So that's all good to go. We don't need to do anything there, so we can hit continue. Now here you have an option to save it as a print and cut image or a cut image. So if you wanted to cut out all these tiny little numbers with your Cricut, you could, and you could save it as a cut image. But what I'm going to show you how to do is to make stickers. And so what we're going to want to do is print this with our printer on sticker paper and then have our Cricut cut out a rectangle around it. So we want to save it as a print, then cut image, and hit save. Okay, so now we can go ahead and click on that one and insert images. Okay, so here's my image. You can see that it's about 2 inches by about 3 inches, and we're not going to do anything with that quite yet. The first thing we're going to do is add a shape because we need to tell our Cricut where to cut. So we're going to add a square. Now in order, let me go ahead and make this white so that we can. Now in order to make this a rectangle, if you try dragging it, it will stay a square until you click this little lock button and it will unlock and it will allow you to manipulate this shape however you want. So what I'm going to do is drag this over and it's going to go to the back. But what we can do is right click and say move backward, and that will push the white image back. And then our text is on top. So I'm going to move this up to the corner and then resize this to where I want it. I want some space around the edges, some margin. So I'm just going to center that, maybe not quite so much on the bottom. There we go, that looks pretty good. So then, in order to make this one piece, right now it's still 2 different pieces. So what you're going to want to do is click both of them and come down here to this attach. Okay, so now it's one piece. If you do that accidentally, it is easy to detach if you'd like to do that back at the same spot. So now let's go ahead and resize this. You can resize this however you want, depending on the specific planner that you have. But in my Hobonichi, 1.5 inches is the size of the sidebar. So that's the size that I want to make it. So right now it's 2.347 inches. So if I come up here, if I change this to 1.5, it will automatically size it to where this is 1.5 and then this, it looks like 2.219. So now we can go over here and you see that the December, it says print, and the square, it says cut. We want them both to say print. So what we're going to do is select it and come down here to flatten. And that will merge it to where it's all being printed. Otherwise, it would come in and cut all of these individual numbers. Now let's hit make it. And let's go ahead and choose for it to make 4, since there are 4 weeks in December. All right, and you'll notice this black rectangle. This is what the Cricut will read whenever it comes time to print. So it's okay that that's there. It's not actually going to cut this rectangle out. It's just to allow the machine to read the sticker paper and make sure that it's going to cut in the correct spots. So we're going to hit continue, send to printer.
This is the sticker paper that I have. I just bought it on Amazon and I will link it down below. Onlinelabels.com. You can get it there as well. This is the matte sticker paper. It's just white. They do have clear if you would rather have that type of paper. So just go ahead and print on these just like you would if you were printing a normal piece of paper. Make sure that the correct side is facing up. The way that it comes is the top. So this is the part that you want to print on. The back here is the part that you will remove. So make sure that you put it in your printer correctly so that it prints on this side.
Make sure that your printer is selected. One copy. And we don't need this bleed. What this bleed does, let's say you were wanting to print and cut a blue sticker and you wanted the whole sticker to be blue. This bleed will actually put blue further than the cut line to ensure that the entire sticker is blue. We don't need that right now, so we're going to turn that off. And then hit print.
All right, so I just got this off of my printer, my 4 Decembers. Let's go ahead and take our mat. And I usually try and line it up pretty straight, but again, the Cricut is going to read the black rectangle to know where to cut. So if you don't get this perfectly straight on here, it's okay. It will still know what to do. So let's go ahead and open it up.
Okay, so you can see here that I have connected my machine. I have an Explorer 1, and I have already printed. So now you have an option to set the material. So you're going to want to turn your dial to custom. And this is already favorites. It's in my favorites, but I went to browse all materials. And then they have all of these options for you. And I have found that the sticky note option is what I like for my sticker paper. So you can just start typing sticky and hit search, and then here it is. So you can choose that and then hit done. So then depending on your blade, you might need to set your pressure. Sometimes if it's a brand new blade, I will hit less, or if I can tell that my blade is dulling, I might choose more. But right now my blade is pretty average, so I'm just going to leave it at default. Make sure that you have the blade in, and then when you're ready to go ahead and load your mat.
All right, so my load button is flashing. So I will go ahead and push that and make sure that this is centered. And my little go button is flashing, so now I'll press that and it will do its magic. All right, so once it's all done, you push the flashing button again, the load unload button. And then instead of pulling the stickers off this way, it will actually cause it to curl a little bit. So what I like to do is flip my mat upside down and curl the mat back and leave the stickers flat. And now we have our little stickers.
Okay, so the next kind of sticker I want to show you how to do is a little more complicated. So what we're going to do is make stickers out of these bouncy headers. Now, if we were just to do the same thing that we did in our Cricut design space, we could put rectangles around them and it would work just fine. But there's actually, since they're bouncy, there's a lot of space that would get taken up that we can avoid if we put a margin around these words. So if you'd like to, you can still do these the same way and just cut them out and put a rectangle around them. You can call it good. But if you would like to make them like I showed you at the beginning, to where there's a little bit of space around each letter, then continue watching. So what we're going to want to do is download this image. Okay, so the program that I'm going to show you how to add a margin around your text is called GIMP. Now this is available for a free download. This is the program that my husband prefers editing things on, and so he has been showing me a little bit how to use it. I am not as good as he is yet, so bear with me if I'm experiencing some problems. But what we want to do is go ahead and open up our image that we saved. Bouncy Weekday Headers, there it is. So we're going to open it up. Now what we want to do is cut these to where they're individual pieces. Right now it's one large image. And if we were going to add a margin around it, they would bleed into each other. And we don't want that. That would make the two different days into one big sticker. So what we want to do is make our canvas size larger. So we're going to right click, go down to image, and then canvas size. And we are going to bump this up just 100. So we're going to make it 1892. And then bump this up to 2548. And then hit resize. So you might notice that our image size is smaller still than the canvas size. So what we want to do is come over here to the Layers Manager. I'm going to right click, Layer to Image Size. So then it snapped it out to where it was the same size as the canvas. So we want to go over here to this lasso, this free select tool, and we are going to draw around this Sunday. You can either do it like this, or you can hold it down. All right, so now we have it cut out. I'm going to go over here to my Move tool. I'm going to right click, go down to Edit. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to paste. And now you can see that it's white and black. Now we're ready to move it. So we're just going to drag it down here. Make sure that we don't put it too close to either side because we are going to add a margin. So there we go. All right, so now let's grab our lasso tool again. Edit, cut, edit, paste. Now we are able to move it. Let's move it down here. Not too close to Sunday. That should be good. Okay, so you'll notice that Saturday is floating here. So we want to go up and right click and hit Anchor Layer, and that will turn it black. So now we're ready to cut out Friday. All right, so then we grab our Move tool, right click, Edit, Cut, right click, Edit, Paste. Now you can use Control X and Control V instead. So now we're able to move Friday here. Again, don't put it too close. That should be good. Now we're going to go up here, right click, Anchor Layer. You want to make sure that the previous day of the week is black before you start cutting on the next day. Okay, so I'm going to Control X, Control V, and then grab my Move tool and move it down. All right, so we go up here, it's floating, so we want to anchor it. So let's cut out Wednesday. All right, so then just double check and make sure that there's plenty of space. The next thing we want to do is create a new layer. So we're gonna go over here to the Layers Manager, right click, New Layer. Okay, we want it to be white and then hit OK. Now it's automatically going to put it on top of what we just created. We want it to be the background. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go up to Layer, Stack, and then Layer to Bottom, and that will push that white layer underneath the lettered layer. Okay, so now we want to select the text. So what we're going to do is go over to our fuzzy select tool, and we're going to click on this white layer. Okay, I'm on the white layer. I want to be on this layer here. So now let me click. There we go. And see how the text got fuzzy? So we want the text selected, not the outside. So right now everything outside the text is selected. So we're going to right click, go to select, and invert. And now the text is selected. We want to create a margin around the text so that our Cricut knows where to cut. If we were to put this in, it would just cut the text right now, and that's not what we want. We want there to be a gap around the font. So we are going to right click, select, and then go down to grow. And this will create a margin. So let's see what it looks like if we grow this by 5. Okay, so you can see that there is a little bit of a margin, but it's not quite as much as what we want. So let's try it again. Select, grow. Now let's change this to 20. You can see that our margin grew significantly. If this is enough margin for you, I would suggest just looking through all of the gaps and making sure that none of them overlap. You can add more margin if you'd like. You can take away margin. This looks pretty good for me. Okay, so we are going to invert the selection again. So we're going to right click, select, invert. Now we want to click the white layer and we are going to cut it out. So right click, edit, and cut. So now that cut out the white layer everywhere except for our margin. So our margin stayed exactly where we wanted it. So now we want to go over here to our layers manager and right click, and we want to merge these together. Similar to in our Cricut design space, whenever we flattened the two pieces, now these are one layer. The two layers became one. So now we're going to go up to File, and we are going to Export as. I'm going to save this as Bouncy Weekday Headers 2 with margin, and we're going to export. We want to make sure that this is a PNG. All right, so now we are ready to pull this into Design Space. So I have a new canvas here. We're going to do the same thing to get the image into Cricut. So we're going to upload. So we want to upload an image, and we're going to browse. Okay, so here it is, Bouncy Weekday Headers 2 with margin. So the same steps. We want to click Complex, Continue. And here we want to make sure that everything looks right. Okay, looks great. We're going to hit Continue. Again, we want to save it as a print, then cut image. Here it would just cut around the outside. So hit Save. All right, image upload successful. So now we want to go and click on it and hit Insert Image. Okay, so here they are. Now we are ready to resize this just like we did before. The very first time that I made these, I made it to where the Wednesday, the longest one, was about 1 3/4 inches. I actually want to make them smaller so that they fit just a little bit better. So I'm going to make them 1 1/4 inch instead. So same thing, I'm going to go up here with my width, 1.25, and hit enter. The 1.25 is the width of the Wednesday. So all the other ones are going to be a little bit smaller. And now I'm going to hit make it. Let's see how many we can get on here. I bet we could try for 8. Okay. We can still do more. I wonder if we could do 12. Okay, so 12 is too many. So let's try 11. All right, it looks like 11 we can fit all on one page. Let's go continue. Make sure that your machine is connected here and go ahead and send to printer.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take what we just printed and line it up on our mat, just like we did before. One tip that I found, if this part starts to lose its sticky, you can actually rotate your mat this way and put your sticker sheet here. So same thing, we're going to make sure that we line it up and then push the load button.
Select your material. And go ahead and make sure that your blade is in, and then press the button.
Okay, so we just printed these stickers. Now let's try them in our planner. So I have a Hobonichi Cousin. This is just a week that was unused. It was before I purchased it. And I'm gonna just show you how I would use this in my planner. So I'm just gonna start with some washi tape. The washi tape just helps cover up these printed things. I'm gonna go ahead and put this all the way over here to help cover up this. And usually I do wipe this out. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to leave it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this and put it just right up here to cover up. So this is a good way. This was actually a July weekly, but now that I have this December sticker over it, nobody would know. So if you buy your planner mid-year and you have a lot of unused weeks like I do, this would be a good way to get by with your planner a little bit longer. So we're gonna start Monday. All right, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if there was anything that I was unclear on. If you have any questions down below, I will be there to answer any questions that you have. If you enjoyed this content and don't want to miss any more from me, please consider subscribing. Until next time.